Hello, and welcome to my TED Talk. So I've been wearing a school uniform like this one for most of my life. I have had the privilege to attend private school for most of my education, and with that comes this uncomfortable, never quite fitting school uniform. It also comes with the experiences that come with wearing a uniform. One of these is knowledge, not the kind that you learn in classrooms, but the kind that girls learn from the internet, their teachers, their friends, and their families. So, I don't have a clicker. I'm going to tell you a statistic. 1 in 3 people wearing a school uniform will be harassed or assaulted while in uniform. Next slide, please. So, why does this happen? That is a very, very, very big question, and I don't have all the answers, but I do have some guesses. Take a look at this. Next slide, please. This is the type of thing that comes up when you Google a schoolboy. Fairly normal, nothing horrific. However, when you Google a schoolgirl, you get something incredibly different. Schoolgirl denotes a child or someone like me. Schoolgirl connotes a sexy Halloween costume. This idea of sexualization and fetishization of the school uniform contributes to ideas, which contribute to actions. This isn't the type of thing that uniforms were made for, but it's what they are. Next slide, please. The first school I attended was Counterpoint Academy. It had a school uniform. It was a dress that went below my knees, had a little V, and I wore a white button down underneath. It was very, very prissy, but I loved it. You could not make me wear anything else. I lived in that dress for no reason. It was hideous. After Counterpoint had closed, I had a brief stint in the public system, and then in grade 4, I returned to private school wearing almost the exact same thing. At this age, I was around 9. I wasn't usually walking home alone, but I did have to once or twice. During one of those times, I was followed home by a man who looked to be in about his mid-60s. He watched me enter my house, and then when I looked for him through the window, he was gone. I hadn't been told what I know now. No one wants to tell a 9-year-old how to run from creepy men. Of course, now I know all the tricks. Yell fire instead of rape, always have a screenshot of a phone call at the ready, headphones without music. But I was 9. By the time I was 12, I was walking home from school by myself most of the time. By the way, I lived less than a kilometer from here in a heavily school district. But sometimes, on Fridays, I would go to Starbucks before coming home because I was 12 and wanted a cookie after gym class. So one of these Fridays, I'm walking to Starbucks in my gym kit, which was a full green tracksuit, green sweatshirt, green sweatpants, really, really ugly. I don't know who made that decision, but I don't like them. But still, that was the first time I was catcalled. In a hideous tracksuit, 12, and sweaty. However, the tracksuit did very clearly state that it was a school uniform. Through grade 7 and 8, it happened more, but grade 9 was when it got worse. I was an insecure 9th grader who thought that their skirt was too long, socks too short, and teeth too yellow. But I was still very naive. I hadn't been told to wear shorts under my dress. And one lunch period, while I was walking up the stairs, a grade 12 took a photo of my skirt. Thankfully, nothing explicit was shown, but it ended up being shown to many of the grade 12s at the time without my knowledge. It was only when one of them that I knew from a club stepped forward and told me that I was informed. But there was already nothing I could do. It had been shared to at least 10 people. There was nothing I could do to get it off the internet, to get it off people's phones. So I didn't say anything. I moved on. I kept my mouth shut, put shorts on, and I moved on. Later on that year, I was walking to my science class in what is now the economics hallway, and a boy came up from behind me, slapped my butt, and ran into a classroom before I could do anything. All I know about him is that he was tall, had dark hair and a black backpack. but that is almost every boy at the school anyway. These are 2 instances where I was harassed in uniform at school. There have been dozens outside of school that I don't have time to talk about. Now think about that statistic again, 1 in 3. But I've never properly reported my stories. That statistic is built up of those of us who were brave enough to report. And that's not a lot. Next slide, please. In that same study, oh, that's the wrong one. In that same study by Plan International UK, it was found that 1 in 7 had been followed in uniform. 8% they said that they had been filmed or photographed without their consent, or had someone take a photo under their clothes, like me. And 28% said that they felt unsafe going out at night in their own neighborhoods, even with a friend. What do we do? Is there a way to fix this? In the short answer, no. We could get rid of the uniform. That's a lot to ask. We could teach more about sexual assault, but that could be rejected by parents. We could be more restrictive with the uniform, but we don't even follow the uniform anyway. There's no perfect solution. I'm not going to get up here and tell you that there is a happy ending, because there isn't. I would love to say that buying a pair of the Ashbury pants would make it all go away, but then I think about 12-year-old me in my tracksuit. What I'm wearing doesn't matter. This happens. In grade 9, my PE teacher told me not to trust any of the grade 12 boys, and I am so thankful for her because she was right. So I don't go anywhere but school and home in my uniform, because I know that there are people who will see me as the exact same thing that you see when you Google a schoolgirl. This is an issue in our society, and it has been for as long as school uniforms have been around, however long that is. Now think about that statistic again. It's not fun to think about. It's not fun to think about this happening to our friends, our families, our kids. But if we don't think about it, we help perpetuate this cycle. So think about it. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk.